Hey, Crystal Maiden here for the next part of Team Rose. This level didn't start out with the best first impression because I'm just waiting around in an elevator section. And there aren't even any enemies to fight. Thankfully, it's only the later versions of the level that force you to fight a bunch of enemies in elevators. But still, this isn't exactly a very entertaining area to start out with. I mean, at least you can run into balloons, but what's the point of getting a huge amount of rings in a game where you can't turn supersonic to take advantage of those rings? And where, unlike in Generations and Colors, you can't, like you lose all your rings at once if you get hit, no matter how many rings you have. So having a lot of rings is pointless. And that's why Forces made it so that it doesn't matter how many rings you have, because you can't pick them back up once you get hit. Because some fanboys complain that the games aren't challenging enough. Apparently frustration is equal to fun now. Yeah, I like this level. I like the thrill sections, like the sheer fact that the glowy roads can actually give me thrills. I like that they introduced this concept. I like this level was fun right from the very beginning. It can be kind of annoying with other teams, but with this it's pretty fun. Team Rose is obviously the joke team of the game. Like, you have the wacky team with the Chaotix, and you have the hard team with Team Dark, and the normal team with Team Sonic. And this is the joke team. You've got Big with his stupid voice, and well, I don't know if they were aware of how awful Cream's voice is, because the whole point of her is she's supposed to be cute to the Japanese. And you've also got Amy with her comedic, well, quote-unquote comedic, obsession with Sonic. But honestly, like, again, I like the concept of Amy being the leader of her own team, and, like, that combined with her being a female Sonic in abilities as well as in personality, and she's really come into her own in this game. It just sucks that all that seems to go down the drain because of the fact that her whole motivation is chasing after Sonic, and at one point she tries to beat up Sonic for not marrying her. Something that she just said as a joke in SA2. So, yeah. This camera angle is surprisingly good for what you're trying to do. I mean, at least you can see the bottom of the totem pole. It makes it a lot easier to actually aim yourself into the floating rings. It's weird. Team Rose's levels lack the memorable set pieces of the other versions of the level. There's no rising lava area this time around. Which I guess is good, because it's frustrating, but still. But yeah, like, this is clearly the joke team of the game, and like, I guess they were just finding any justification for putting as many teams as possible. But it's really good that's in the game because it's the easy mode. I've already ranted as much as I possibly could about how awful the special stages are, about how slippery the controls are, how easy it is to run yourself into mines. The quick step would have been really useful here, and I really wish that the walls didn't constantly stick you into them.
Alright!
On the bright side, though, it can be really easy to win if you're lucky. The problem is, it's not like, well, like, there's a code where you can press a certain button combination and go straight to the special stage from any level, but I never bothered using it because, well, I'm sure I could get all the, I'm sure I could get all the emeralds, but I don't really care because the special stages are that annoying and it probably take me hours. Something good about the cutscene presentation of this game is that it's got the lip flaps a lot better. And the body language, I never heard anyone try to say the body language was awkward. I mean, well, the lip flaps aren't perfectly matched. Like, obviously Vector kind of looks like he's just a puppet in his lip movements. But what I mean is that when they talk, their mouths move. And when they don't talk, their mouths don't move. Which just makes 06 look all the worse because 06 is a next generation game and it makes the same mistake again.
I can't believe he did that just so
What did Sonic do? Was it fighting her? She challenged him to a fight.
Really? What?
Stellar acting there. Stellar voice there. It's like you're expected to feel sorry for Cream, but she has a terrible voice, so it ruins it.
Reminds me of Casino
How? It looks nothing like it. It looks so much prettier, and it isn't like a realistic casino. I'm not sure how I managed to survive that. I clearly air dashed into a pit there, but okay. But yeah, like this place looks so much more beautiful than Casinopolis, and it plays nothing like it. It has, like, Casinopolis is more of an actual real life casino area, only you turn into, like, your character itself is the ball in the pinball, and there's actually a camera angle zoomed out enough that you can actually do it right. Yeah, you can tell this was the first time I'd ever been expected to belly flop through glass. Okay, breaking glass with your body, shouldn't that kill Big from the glass shattering into him? Oh well, I guess it's magic, just magically creating a gale force wind that sends all the shards away from him rather than into him. Yeah, the collision detection on the pinball is really awful. You slide down the flippers way too fast. It's all around a lot worse than it should be. You need good controls for a gimmick like this, and that's all the level's about. Yeah, just weird that... It's also weird that Amy talks about Casinopolis when she was never actually in there in SA1. I mean, it is possible that, like, there's a lot of implications that all of the characters were meant to be in all the levels at one point, if the game had been given more development time, which is a nice argument against the idea that more development time always results in a better game, because it could have just meant that SA1 would have had more padding. And this is coming from someone who loves that game. Like, it would have been less glitchy, I guess, but if they added more stuff into it to make it longer, wouldn't that have just meant more glitches?
The number of rings paid out from the slot machine on the pinball table varies depending on the
But yeah, I guess Amy had been inside of Casinopolis off screen at one point, and that's why she said it reminds her of Casinopolis, but again, there's no reason that it should because it looks absolutely nothing like it. And she said that before even seeing the pinball flippers. And something I have forgotten to mention in Chaotix's playthrough is that the stupid line from Charmy where he says, "Chips? You mean potato chips?" It would have worked a lot better if he said it, if he was always programmed to say it right after Eggman first mentioned casino chips. But instead, he just randomly says it, like, very late into the level. And that's the kind of line that by definition needs to be in response to something, but he just says it on its own without being provoked. It doesn't really make sense. And it's not even funny to begin with, so. Like, for the most part, this game is good enough to not force comedy down your throat. It does a lighthearted tone right. The only real instances of intentional comedy is the comedy trio of Team Chaotix. And again, I guess Team Rose, since they're supposed to be the joke team, but I mean, I say that because, well, like, their interactions with Eggman and, like, Cream begging Eggman ineffectively to return Chocola to them, and, like, Amy threatening Sonic into trying to marry her, like, it all screams that they're supposed to be, like, the scrappy underdogs, the more silly comic relief team. I mean, at least Team Chaotix has a mission to follow. Even if their missions are just arbitrary and pointless. But Team Rose is like the joke team. And that kind of makes them sympathetic in a way, I guess. The article on Amy's newspaper in the first cutscene of Team Rose appears to be an ad for a Palm port of Sonic 1. So that's kind of weird. Amy's hammer like, I forget what the word for it is.
I'll do my best.
I think handle, I guess. It's red and yellow instead of yellow and red, with like yellow ends and a red middle.
All right.
So that's kind of weird. It's yellow in the middle. So I guess it's a different hammer from the one we normally see. Like, that's weird. Her gameplay was entirely based around her hammer in Sonic Advance 1 and Sonic Adventure and Advance 3 for the most part. But in this game, her hammer is just there as a novelty. Like, she could have very easily just done Tornado Attack just like Sonic did,
Put in a ball
which would make sense since she's essentially a female Sonic.
to slightly change the direction.
So the only reason she's not compatible with him then is because of the whole clingy, jealous, pushy thing, which Sonic doesn't have. I guess. I mean, he's never really shown romantic interest in anyone. At least doesn't really count because that game isn't canon. So what's the point of having clearly female pink eggplants? I mean, are they any different gameplay-wise from the other ones? And what's the point of Eggman giving his robots genders? He doesn't consider them to be people. So why would he even bother giving them proper names, let alone genders? Like, even Gamma and Omega are just code names. He probably considers the emotionless numbers to be their real names. Body press? Why can't it just be called a belly flop? That's such a better name. I mean, body press, like, that makes me think of some sort of exercise jacuzzi room. The PlayStation 2 version of the game is usually considered to be the worst port, having lower quality textures and some graphical glitches. And more importantly, it has some major frame rate issues due to graphical memory being lower than the other versions. But oddly enough, it's the only version to contain freely selectable languages, which is normally a staple in Sonic. Even the advanced games have freely selectable languages. So yeah, the PlayStation 2 version is the worst. The Xbox version is basically just the GameCube version. The GameCube version maintains the best frame rate, has the best shadows, and has a unique anti-flicker option. I don't really get that. I mean, I think of flickering in video games, I think of like 8-bit games where the sprites are flickering all over the place, like old Mega Man games and the NES version of Zelda 2 with the townspeople. So why would there be flickering in Sonic in like 3D? But yeah. Unfortunately, the GameCube version is only in English outside Japan. But English is practically the common language of the world anyways, so not really sure what the big deal is. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people who are Sonic fans would know English anyways, aside from the Japanese. Japan doesn't even really care about Sonic to begin with because it involves anthropomorphic animals. The most popular video game franchises in Japan are just generally like teenage anime boy goes to high school and dates girls and like dance revolution games, stuff like that. The Xbox version of the game and Originals release, whatever that is, contains dual languages dependent on system settings as well as a higher resolution HD TV 720p. Not that it really matters. Like, it's a GameCube game. Does it really matter what the resolution is? As long as it's not blurry so that you're seeing stuff through water, it doesn't really matter in terms of the gameplay. That was annoying. Why put those blocks there? They just send you back down. Even Team Rose has forced combat, unfortunately. But thankfully, it's heavily toned down. So I can understand why people consider this to be the superior team. But honestly, once you get used to the length of the levels in Sonic Heroes, you don't really mind having longer levels to play as Team Sonic. The levels just don't feel complete when you're playing them as Team Rose. And see, that looked like slippery controls, but because there were walls surrounding me, it didn't matter. If the level design is designed around the controls, it really doesn't matter what the controls are. Just a thought. Each console version also has its own take on surround sound. The PS2 version supports Dolby Digital Pro Logic 2. Dolby Digital for cutscenes only. The GameCube version only has Dolby Pro Logic 2, and the Xbox version uses Dolby Digital 5.1 output for gameplay cutscenes. No idea what any of that is. Does it really matter? I mean, I can't really tell the difference between sound settings anyways. I just put surround on by default because I assume it's the best one. The PC port released later is a port of the Xbox version. I guess that makes sense because it has the Xbox controller for it. And it's basically just that with a few differences. It includes switching between auto camera and a free camera mode that's not always available for some reason. Okay, hold up. What's the point of having a free camera mode in Sonic Heroes? This is a game where you can rotate the camera around you with the camera stick anyways. And there's even a first-person mode. So, this is the GameCube version, it still has the first-person mode. What new stuff could the free camera mode possibly offer? I mean, is it just trying to pretend that it's new because it's a free camera mode? Because technically we already have that in the GameCube version, except we don't have to switch to it manually every time we want to use it. For the most part, the PC port has even higher resolution and slightly enhanced shading, so if you're graphics whore, you'll love that. But it has problems with some controllers like SADX PC does. And it only has one voice language due to size concerns. And Big's model is missing its stripes in the PC port, prompting fans to actually patch the graphical error.